Welcome. It's Fusion Fantasy Football, and we are doing one final Scott Fish Bowl mock draft. So welcome, Scott Fish Bowl. If you don't know what it is, check it out, scottfishbowl.com. It's to raise awareness about using fantasy football to help people for charities. Specifically, Fantasy Cares is one of the major outlets they do that through, but just overall awareness of trying to use fantasy football for good, for charities, all kinds of things. There's a lot of charity leagues out there. I'll talk about mine later, but we're going to get this thing going. If you don't know, the rules for Scott Fish Bowl are a little weird, so you may not quite recognize what you're looking at. You're going to be wondering why people are drafting the people they're taking. You're going to be wondering what's going on with this third round. There's a reversal, so a lot of fun things. If you're watching this, though, I bet you know exactly what's going on, and you don't need me to tell you. So we've got Alex down here. Say hello, Alex. He's sitting at the one spot. Alex is with the good guys from Toilets to Titles, and we've seen a lot of you guys around here, so we're going to kick it off. He's the one spot. Hopefully we get some other people on here. And you could take your time, Alex, in making the selection. I even have auto picks off. I should double check that. But that way, even if you time out here, you're not gonna run out.
Yeah, no, I don't need any time. Ever since I got the one pick, I knew exactly where I was going. Big tournament like this, you need to take your shots, and sometimes chalk isn't chalk. So I'm going to start with Justin Herbert here. Oh,
we are all green, so we're good.
I'm going to take my stud quarterback right off the bat and not look back.
Okay. Well, look, I'm going to let John jump in here. He just showed up. I don't know if he's ready yet, but John, okay, you already picked. So we got a little while to go till we get to Josh here, who I didn't quite introduce yet, but he's Jay Crocker there. And Alex, why in 20 seconds here, Herbert over anyone else?
Well, like I said, it's, big tournament. You got to take your guys. Justin Herbert, I really like him this year. I think I still have Josh Allen, ranked number one, but you gotta get your guys, and so I went with Justin Herbert.
Wow.
Oh, okay. You got to get those things off. All right. John, you got a gift at the 2 spot.
Truthfully, I'd be delighted with Justin Herbert also. I love Justin Herbert. I love Josh Allen. I don't think you can go wrong. I think there's a drop-off at 2, which is why I selected 2 when I got the chance. I'm expecting to get Justin Herbert tomorrow. But, yeah, I'll take Josh Allen all day. So how can you not?
Yeah, not so bad. I think Nino is on the clock right now. He's trying to get in. I hope he doesn't miss his pick trying to get on the stream, but we'll see. Josh, say hello. You're on deck here. How's it going?
Doing fine. Glad to be here. I was kind of hoping to get Jonathan Taylor, if you want to know the truth.
Has he been falling to 6 at all?
I'm sure it'll happen. I don't know how likely it is to happen.
He went at 10 in one of the Chicago live drafts last weekend.
He went to 7 to Dirty Jobs in the Orlando live draft today.
Okay.
Seems like a thing that could happen.
Anything.
We've got a couple. Well, we got a couple guys who have been at some live drafts. George, friend of the show, also now with Toilets Titles. He was drafting live down in Orlando. He had a very interesting draft, which I won't say anything about till we get through maybe 4 rounds. All right, Jackson went. Josh is on the clock, and we're trying to get somebody else in here. We'll see. McCaffrey.
I mean, he's the only guy that has the range of outcomes that he has, I think. So I know it's a gamble if he stays healthy, but.
All right, we got Nino in here now. Hello.
How we doing? Sorry, had audio problems, but we're good now.
Well, I mean, we can
No
hear
problem.
You, so not as good as you think.
Oh boy.
Kelsey's gone.
Oh boy.
No surprise there. Figured he wouldn't fall. He wouldn't get through the first round.
All right, well, hey, I'm on deck. I got to think about this now. I've been really liking the chances of McCaffrey. Sometimes falls all the way.
There went your guy right in front of you. I know.
And then that's the other thing is then I can go Cooper Kupp sometimes.
Not this time.
Not this time.
This is kind of my worst case like fear in my real draft that people aren't going to go as super quarterback heavy as I want them to be because I'm probably not going to be. Man. Yeah, I was really hoping to get one of those two guys.
Yeah, you get the third round reversal, so you know a half decent quarterback still going to drop down there.
Sometimes I wait even longer. We'll see.
Yeah.
I can't even see a clock on mine. Am I on a clock? Yeah, it's okay. It shows that I can see it there. 1 minute. All right, so man,
would you go up there if he was there with SFP being what it is?
Cooper Kupp?
Would you?
Yeah, I would. I would probably go Kupp and a running back, but even then, it's a little tough. I'm gonna go a little on a limb with an idea I have here. We're gonna start there.
I was really thinking those two picks.
I'm going to reach a little bit. The problem is I don't actually like the running backs that are available that go at this point, and running backs are often falling. And so I'm going to pivot a little bit. And we're going to see what happens.
Okay. All right.
That's why it's a mock draft.
Solid.
I'm all right with it.
Solid. JJ's a dog.
All right, so I also got Jimmy. He's on the 4 spot jumping in here. Hi, Jimmy. How's it going?
How you guys doing?
Hey,
What's up, my man?
you got a gift at Mahomes all the way at 4, which is I guess not that exciting nowadays. But I don't know it's hard not to think of Mahomes as going top 2. People are all down on him.
I think he'll be okay.
He's not going to lose it for you. We'll say that.
No, he'll be just
Right.
fine.
He's not
Nobody's
going to
gonna
lose
step
it for
up.
you. All right, so the team that took Kelsey here, I wonder if they were hoping Andrews would come back to him. We'll see.
Kittle feels like a reach there, huh? Pitts maybe.
Pitts, yeah.
I was just gonna say Pitts too. Yeah.
Chuck down here on the end with me, going no quarterback as well, going wide receiver. So we've got our own little thing going down here in the end.
Chuck Steele, baby.
This is one quarterback league, right, guys? Nino, I didn't really get to say or introduce you fairly either. So Nino here from Toilets and Titles as well. Nice to hang out with you in person finally.
I know, right? We've done a couple drafts already, so it'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
got you in a league already.
So it's always fun. Always fun.
This is the stream we did an SFB mock last year where I met Justin from Toilets Titles.
Nice.
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
on out.
I thought
It's all
about
my
that
fault.
earlier.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Eckler.
Yeah, so Eckler falls all the way down to there. Josh, you probably were almost getting your hopes up.
Yeah, I probably would have taken him. I don't have much Eckler anywhere. I don't know. Maybe I need to rethink that.
Yeah,
I love Eckler,
I love Eckler.
but I have a.
Spiller.
Ah.
Spiller's gonna eat into that.
I'm not even worried about Spiller. It's just basic regression. He had way too many rushing touchdowns.
he rushed a lot more this past year than he has before.
A good amount. Yeah, we got Justin in the chat here saying it's all my fault.
There we go. Push and blame.
I didn't think I was that bad, guys.
I think Eckler could do everything he did last year, but still only have 11 instead of 21. Touchdowns.
No, totally. Yeah, but I still
He's double
I still
dipping
like
now.
him though.
I can't hate on that, Josh. I like it.
Man.
I mean, I feel like there's probably 4 or 5 running backs that you could make an argument for being right there.
At this point, I don't know.
Man, I'm gonna pivot. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go double quarterback. I'm gonna go with Stafford because I like the completion percentage.
Whose is that?
Who is all fired up?
Turn off the sound on the next
Okay, Jimmy, you got Jalen Hurts. That's a nice pairing. You got 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about Hurts this year.
The only thing that can kill
AJ
you,
Brown in town.
yeah, the only thing
Top
that can
10.
kill you in Scott Fish is the incompletions because he's not the. But I mean, you still get the legs.
You get the
He's
first
gonna have to
down.
make up
I got
for it.
Mahomes, so
That's why I went Stafford instead of Hurts. I looked at Hurts. I think Hurts will be top 10 this year in fantasy, but with Scott Fish,
I mean, he'll do okay, but he's not going to get that boost the running quarterback usually gets.
Right.
The running's just going to bring him back up to being decent.
And it's 6 points all touchdowns.
so I had to go Stafford.
You haven't even got the rushing TD boost.
Right. Yeah, it's full passing touchdowns. So my version of this scoring, which I do in the Fusion Flex leagues, which I run as charity leagues, I'm trying to get those filled as soon as we get a little bit into Scott Fishbowl and everyone starts to get a little bit of that itch again. But in my version of that, I only score quarterback rushing the same as quarterback's passing. So it kind of nerfs the Konami runners a little bit and makes sure that they can still be quarterbacks, not running backs.
Very tough league to win.
Alex, All right.
Yep.
Well, that's okay. No, I'm okay with that because you know why? I get this guy, which is what I wanted all along. I get the stack, Cousins and Jefferson.
I saw because you had Jefferson. I thought about taking him, but
if
Swift fell to me, and I couldn't let it go.
but if you hadn't, I would have taken Swift.
Yeah.
Swift's gonna blow up this year.
I hope so.
I mean, I was about ready to reach on Swift at the turn, to be completely honest.
I wouldn't hate you at all for it.
I mean, if at that point with 3 quarter running backs off the board, it's like, who am I going to reach on that's going to be a real difference maker that's going to set my team apart? And you got to do that, think that way in this kind of tournament setting more so than a normal league. So you wouldn't be thinking that way in a normal league, but that's how it goes for these things.
Yeah, well, especially being on the back turn like that, sometimes you gotta. There's how many? Well, I guess with the 3rd round reversal, there's a better chance that someone falls back down to you, but you got to get your guys, man.
Yep. And then Chuck got his quarterback car right behind me, so we're going good. Pitts falls all the way into the 3rd, which is actually pretty good. I'm not even a Pitts fan, but I usually see him going a little sooner than that, I think.
Ricky Steele getting his guy. Carr.
Yeah,
It's
he
all about
loves
him.
Carr.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he's
Oh, yeah.
big fan. Big fan.
Think he's
Okay.
just back forward.
Okay.
Oh,
I
sniped.
think
Sniped.
Just left and right for you, Nina.
I know, back to back, man.
We got Crocker on the board. I don't know. You might have been thinking about Najee there, too.
Yeah. I was really hoping Pitts would make it back, but
So did I, but no dice.
well. All right.
Okay. So we're getting through the 3rd here. Josh, you went Henry, so you're going 3 running backs. I love that. You know that.
Yeah,
Chubb.
yeah, that looks like something you might do.
Lots of running backs coming off here.
Oh, we're on a run right now. We're on a spree.
Yeah, you guys gotta cool off that a little bit.
They started falling. I had to take a guy. I had none.
Yeah, but if you wait, then everyone else will wait. Come on.
Yeah. You hope.
That's
don't
totally
you
how it
hope.
works. Yeah.
Sometimes it is, but
Very true. Very true. Hey, fingers crossed doesn't always work for you.
okay, yeah. I got pointed out here. We got the Dak Lamb stack going on in the 10 spot, so that's pretty nice. I'm looking through here if there's any other stacks I missed.
I don't think so.
No, so it's just me and
All right.
the 10.
Play off Lenny.
And my running back made it back to me here, which I'm very happy about. I was thinking about it when I took Swift. Now I love Javonte, but with Melvin Gordon coming back, I don't think he has as high of a ceiling. I think he's still going to split work. I'm going to take Aaron Jones and then take my buddy Breece Hall.
My buddy, he
Round
says,
off.
nice.
Round off my RB core, and I can worry about everything else for the rest of the draft.
I like that. You get some upside there with both of those guys. You're going to need that in this kind of setting, so it's nice.
Now, Alex, you mentioned the split with Javonte and Gordon, but you were all over Aaron Jones. AJ Dillon is going to probably get the same split. You don't think so?
I think Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon will be on the field together more than Javonte and Melvin will be on the field together. You know what I mean? Like it was a very 50-50 split last year, and I don't see why they'd go too far away from that. It worked pretty well.
You're right. I see that point. I know what you're saying.
But and Aaron Jones is going to get. I think both Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. I think they both get a ton of receptions this year because of the lack of pass catchers. I love both of them. I think they're both going to be awesome. And I don't mind having both of them on the same team either. I've done that a couple times.
Even if it's a 50-50 split in that case, Jones is getting the receiving half of it far more than in Javonte and Melvin Gordon's case. They were even splitting the carries and the targets pretty evenly.
Oh,
but
got sniped.
But with how they need receivers in Green Bay, Aaron Jones, I mean, you hate to use splits, but whenever Adams is out, Aaron Jones targets go up. Simple as that.
All the way
and
up.
It's not a vacated target thing for me. It's just a matter of target priority. Who moves up the priority list?
Yep. And AJ Dillon was no slouch in the passing game last year either.
No, he did well.
He got plenty of work, and he did awesome with it. He's got great hands, and he's a wrecking ball out there on the outside.
Captain Quads. I heard someone say sniped. Who was it?
I got sniped.
Now you don't have any fear of the 6-game suspension?
No, I think it might get reduced down to 4 minimum.
Gotcha. I think at this point too, that's baking in a lot of the suspension time.
Right.
Otherwise, Kamara would be going, top 5,
first.
top 6 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the latest. And thank you, Gator J. I like it too. I think it's a good start.
Jimmy going with Tyreek Hill and Byron picking up Mike Evans. Mike Evans, actually, it's a little higher than I've seen him compared to the other wide receivers, but I mean, I know why I agree.
I'd be surprised. I don't know. I think I'm taking him ahead of Debo this year, certainly. I think he's more in that upper echelon. I know Debo had a great year last year, but quarterback concerns me a little.
Just seen reports that Godwin might play week 1. That's a far stretch, man.
I don't believe it, but
No,
I think it's all smoke.
When the injury happened and stuff, I mean, there's a chance, but I don't think it's happening either. They might as well save him
maybe
for a
week
couple
3 or
weeks.
week 4, maybe.
Yeah,
I think
mean,
even if Godwin's back, I think that Bucks offense is going to be so focused through Fournette, Evans, and or Godwin / Gage, whoever's Gage until Godwin's there. But I think it's going to be so focused. Like, spoiler alert for later, but I'm not bothering Cameron Brate or Kate Orton. Like, just give me the Tom Brady knows what he likes.
Evans will be fine either way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Evans.
Ooh, I love the Waddle pick. Love it.
Okay, Josh.
We'll see. A little bit outside, I think.
Everyone's forgotten about the quarterbacks for like almost 2 rounds here.
Most of them are taking Miami receivers.
We'll see how long that lasts. We'll see.
You had to mention it, right?
I mean, I haven't seen I haven't seen a Tyreek Hill and Waddle back to back, so that's pretty interesting. I think Higgins right there is interesting to me to go that far after Chase.
Does anybody think that Cincinnati has a little regression this year?
I think.
I mean, they actually weren't.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, they weren't that amazing last year until the very end. So will they regress from what we saw and the passing rates at the very end? Sure, they'll regress from that passing rate, but they'll still be better, I think, than what we saw for the first half of the season. What were you saying, Alex?
I was gonna say that if it's not really, I don't think they'll regress much further. Like, it'll be more like the regular, like the rest of the regular season minus those crazy games at the end of the season. Those are what jacked everything up. 500 yards and a game and shit. Yeah, that's not gonna. It'll come back from that. It'll be like the regular season though.
Good Chucky.
There you go.
Trey Lance.
I like those RBs there.
Yeah, so I don't really get the Zeke fading. Like, I was the guy last year saying he shouldn't be at running back 6 or whatever, and now it's like he's all the way down here near David Montgomery, who I also really like. Who's between Montgomery and Akers. So, Chuck, nice pick.
6
but
or 7?
Yeah, well,
so I mean, where's the hate from? He's
not point per game.
No.
Not point per game. Not close. He pushed through. He played almost all the games. And so he ends up high. But that's exactly, to your point, why I think if he's healthy now, he's getting the work. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't like talk about players that haven't been drafted yet, but I don't really fear Pollard that much.
I agree.
Pollard is what he is. If he was going to be something more, he would have been it already.
Yep.
The Pollard hype is getting out of control this offseason.
Dude, I love it. I love that people are. I love the Pollard hype. Let them keep hyping him up.
It's 2 years too late.
Yeah.
Somebody just commented about ETN. ETN's definitely going to be a top 10 running back this year.
I love ETN. I would
We'll
take
see.
him over Akers.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, but Akers there's more potential in that offense, and I'm just going, that's a ceiling shot right there.
Got to swing big, Scott Fish. Swing big.
So, and it's only half point PPR as far as the reception. So even if you're talking about ETN being involved a lot as a passer, is not a huge benefit there. Yeah, you get an extra then half with the first downs to bring it back up a little bit, but yeah, I'm not so sure about that. We'll finally see a couple more quarterbacks going, and Lance end of that last round, then Tua and Fields here. Everyone's grabbing these running backs before they're gone right now. Everyone's just thinking running back right now.
And that's why
Meanwhile, Josh.
I'm glad I got mine because now I don't have to dig through the bargain bin for these
Yeah.
guys.
Meanwhile, Josh is on the
knew it.
clock being like running backs. I don't need to worry about running backs.
Knew it. I'm going to go. You know what? This guy.
I wanted Tua. Okay, I wanted Tua, so I'm sorry about your AJ Brown. It was not my first. It was not plan A for me.
So you got sniped. So I
was going to be
sniped.
shocked
There
if
we
he
go.
made it
It's all
back
good.
to me.
I'm gonna go. He broke out last year, but I feel like he can improve more this year. So I'm gonna go with Pittman.
There you go.
QB
That's a
upgrade.
shot.
I did want to bring attention to what's going on here with the tight ends. there was a discussion going on. I can talk about it through 4 now, where a friend of the show, George, had taken in his live draft he had today, two tight ends, Kelsey and then Andrews. And I think he was at the 8 spot, maybe even 7. And then 8, okay. And then he got, I think it was Barkley and, first Dalvin and then Barkley. So he got amazing values, basically. But we were kind of talking in our chat, does it make sense to start a tight end in a flex over something else? And I mean, we had some back and forth, and I said if it's like the tight end 2, like he had, I think it's about as good as a top wide receiver or running back 4 or 5, right? So yeah, no problem. But it drops off pretty good. So now we're getting into Darren Waller and Kittle. They're gonna have to perform. I mean, Pitts and Waller, sorry, they're gonna have to perform up to like tight end 2 kind of levels to really make that worth it. Or what do we all think of that team?
I'm not a big fan. I just feel he doesn't get as many too many mouths to feed, and I don't feel he's going to be one of them. So I wouldn't
with Waller.
They like Mark Andrews as a shoe-in for tight end 2.
Talking all these tight ends, and
I think he has 2 of the top 3 tight ends.
You knew it was going to happen. It always does.
Too much table talk. Sorry.
That's okay. It's all right. I'm gonna get my stack here, and I'm gonna take Mike Williams because I think he is going to be Herbert's top receiver this year. And now I had Dalton Schultz queued up, so now I gotta take a look here and see what might I do.
So, I mean, I was in the middle of trying to say that, I mean, I was trying to dissuade them. I was trying to help you out, Alex, but no, he went for it anyway. When it gets into the tight end 5 and 6, I mean, they're scoring less than wide receiver 20s. It's a pretty big drop off. So I don't know. Those specific guys that Team 9 there has, Island, I think both those Pitts and Waller are capable of it, but it's going to be tough to actually pull off. And Alex, you went Deontay.
I did. I went for some target stability there. I think he still gets 140 targets this year, so he should be just fine, regardless of who they come from.
Ooh, Byron going to Eli.
Yeah, I was actually looking at him, but I was like, I have enough running backs. Stop. You gotta.
I thought he'd fall more.
I was hoping for Dobbins, and then it's like, well, who else is an RB that's gonna potentially be an RB1? And I think Elijah Mitchell's about as likely as you're gonna get at this stage.
Yeah, I still like him.
He does have the flaw though. Like, I'm not in love with him, but he's one of the players that he can hit.
I think that as long as he's starting, though, you're going to start him confidently.
Yeah,
he's either going to be healthy and playing and getting points, or he's going to be hurt, and you're not going to start him.
Yeah, and there is a little Lance worry, like I said with Debo as well, like stealing those rushing attempts, especially near the goal line. But Elijah Mitchell proved that he's good. But
they just drafted TDP though. I mean, they do it every year, but that scares me.
They drafted T. Sermon last year. I'm not concerned. I like who's good.
I would draft Sermon over TDP, but anyway.
Kyle Shanahan's drafting running back things is the least of my concerns. Like, he just plays who plays well. Like, his drafting it lacks sense a lot of the times. As much as Kyle Shanahan gets a lot of love, his drafting of running backs and the narrative we bake into it. What was the
Joe Williams.
I was going to say Jonathan.
Pounding the table for Joe. I was just going to say it.
Pounding the table for Joe Williams. And he ended up going in the first round of rookie drafts that year. And I don't know if he ever played a snap in the NFL. Like, it's the most overplayed thing we do every year in Dynasty is, who did Kyle Shanahan like? It's like, it doesn't matter. Just take the cheap one.
Take the one he didn't like, because that's going to end up being the guy.
As I draft a 6th round, Kyle Shanahan.
Mitchell, Mostert, those are the guys.
Hasty.
Yeah, I have
that end up.
2 of the guys who are doing the Podathon draft with me tomorrow here watching as well, and Justin told us he's taking Mitchell in the 5th. So that's good to know. So I'm taking Mitchell in the 4th. We'll see who is.
Yeah. You never know. You never know, Justin. He might be playing with you. He's just setting you up.
I wouldn't dare.
All right, so Josh finally took a quarterback, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, happy to have him. Happy to have Matt Ryan in the 6th.
Yep. I think he'll do okay. I think he'll do well there. I wonder if something we saw in the Falcons, I wonder if it wasn't all just on the rest of the team. I think he's declining as well. But we'll see if the improvement in the team around him will help at least bring him back up to par. But yeah, I don't know. As far as free draft, I guess it's not a problem, but I'm worried about him, and I'm looking at him at like 50% of my dynasty leagues. I say this while I have him in half my dynasty leagues. I've been trying to trade him, but oh well.
He's like that car with 150,000 miles on it that's only worth like $2,000. You know, you'd rather just drive it. You'd rather just keep driving it because its replacement value doesn't even come close to what it's really worth.
But it gets you to work every day.
He had nothing last year, though. Outside of Pitts, I mean, Gage
was
good, but
right.
outside of that,
and he's not good enough to rise above that.
He's better than Wentz, though, so he should see an improvement there.
Yeah, no,
He's the best Colts quarterback since Andrew Luck. Like, he's better than Philip Rivers at the end of his career.
Yeah,
he's better than Wentz. He's better than Jake Briscoe.
Is he?
Like,
Is he better
he
than
did
Wentz,
have.
He's better than Wentz. He's definitely better than Wentz. Wentz couldn't get out of his own way. He had a decent.
Are you sure?
The order
Wentz fumbled away the playoffs.
Wentz
Wentz fumbled away the playoffs. Ryan gets him in the playoffs.
Whoa! We're not talking about playoffs. We're talking about fantasy football.
Yeah, we're talking about fantasy. We're not talking about playoffs.
All right.
Exactly. Playoffs? We're talking about fantasy. All right. What I was going to say about that was that he had Calvin Ridley for a little while at full health. And even then, it was not looking good. So
Yeah, Ridley was shaving points, though.
Okay.
Maybe he was.
I know my one pick already, but I'm a little unsure about the next.
I think Wentz was QB 14 last year. Is Ryan better than that this year?
Yeah. I'm just going to take them both and call it.
For fantasy, I don't think he's better than 14. That's the thing.
I don't.
Wentz is not a good NFL quarterback, but he's not a terrible one.
You know, in Philly, he had a very good season. What happened there?
Yeah, in 2017.
MVP. And then he got hurt.
Still,
and then it was
like Matt Ryan was MVP.
It's still in his range of outcomes, I think. You know, if the dice fall just right.
You know what happened? It's called Nick Foles.
It's called he had one great season ever.
MVP, though.
Where the Eagles hit an incredible rate. Well, he didn't win MVP.
No, it was MVP caliber.
Should have won.
Well, the year prior, Matt Ryan was the MVP and had an incredible season. Like, Carson Wentz has one good season in his career where the Eagles hit an incredible rate on third down.
So
Wentz has been a better fantasy quarterback the last 3 years than Matt Ryan, regardless of how good he is in the NFL. He's a better fantasy quarterback than Matt Ryan. It's not debatable.
Well, it is a bit.
I would be curious about. I'd be curious about that Scott Fishbowl scoring specifically, but there may be 1 year in there where it's flipped from normal scoring. But last year, it definitely wasn't. All right, so I took Mac Jones with the later pick because I don't want his ADP to get too high, and I went for Cooks, good old Brandon Cooks. Before that,
the reliable.
Yeah. As a wide receiver too, it's hard to go wrong. I think I've drafted him in like 3 Scott Fishbowls in a row or something like that. And in inevitability, like
Sutton
starts to look bad at first, and then the next thing you know, he's going on a tear, and you're like, oh, this is good. All right. I just couldn't bring myself to pick any of the tight ends or running backs that are in this area for ADP. So I would have either had to just do what ADP would have called a complete reach, or just grab a good guy like Cooks. But Mac Jones was my target on that turn all along. So thank you guys.
McCorkle.
Did it just for you, Josh.
Yep, that was scripted. Thank you, everybody.
The Island Boys. Damien Harris.
I still like Damien Harris. I liked him last year. It's just
There it went.
hard to know.
Somebody's unhappy.
Do something really gross.
Sean Watson's still on the board.
Hi. He can sit all year so easily.
But what if he doesn't?
And he's going to be a big value. I mean, he's going to probably be a QB1.
Big risk.
He's damn good at football.
All right, so Island finally took a couple running backs, but he did have Dalvin. So really, he has no wide receivers. His wide receivers are tight ends, essentially. Which again, if Pitts and Waller perform up on enough, they're not going to be scoring that much less than the wide receivers you could have had. So he still might. It might not look very good, but it might still come out okay.
But you need to start 3 wide receivers, right?
Yeah, you have to start 3 specifically, actually wide receivers. But then there's several 2 or 3 flexes as well.
Yeah, so you can flex these out, but I mean that's the thing. You're gonna have to suffer somewhere.
The lineup is so deep that it's so easy, and I found that it's so easy to go into that mode after you get like 11, 10 rounds where you're trying to like just take shots on guys to hit big because we're all coming out of dynasty off-season mode. and then you realize, oh, I have to actually start a lineup with these guys that's starting week 1 and 2 and 3, and you realize I should have picked like regular old veterans that are just going to get me something because so many of these reaches don't do anything.
I went for my stack.
That's a good pick.
Did you get a stack? Oh, you did.
I almost took
Okay.
Allen Robinson.
I like St. Brown there, but I think the stack could be valuable, so I went with the stack.
A-Rob's got more ceiling than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think.
He can get. I think he can get double-digit touchdowns this year.
Nope, Akers is taking him. Sorry.
Oh boy.
There should be plenty to go around on that offense.
There could be. There absolutely could be. And all my Cooper Cup Dynasty teams are out there saying, no, we want all the touchdowns. So.
Yeah, they'll get plenty. Don't worry.
I want more. I want them all.
Feed me.
He gets them all. Clyde Edwards, I don't know. Man.
Just so that Rojo could be the starter.
I don't buy any of it.
I don't buy either one of them, to be honest.
I don't like any of them.
Nope.
I think he's just the personality type that coaches like. Not necessarily good at football. I think coaches just like Ronald Jones.
I didn't even know if you're talking Ronald Jones or C. But
I mean,
yeah,
are the
right.
We're talking about both, to be honest with you. They're kind of grouped together.
I've always been anti-Rojo, by the way, so that's kind of funny that they ended up on the same team because I wasn't huge on Edwards either. But I mean, if the wide receivers are finally bad enough, maybe they'll start to use him in the receiving game because he's supposed to be good at that, right?
I don't know what Juju ever did to you, Josh.
Hey. I like Juju, but he's no Tyreek Hill. Come on.
Well, no, he's completely different. I mean,
I wanted to make it around
They're
the
bringing
corner.
him in there to
Not as
replace
good.
him, though. So it's kind of.
He should be in the slot is the problem.
why wouldn't he be?
So MVS
They
is
don't
going
have
to be the guy
anybody
taking
else?
over the top. They're going to go Marquise Van Scaling is going to be the over top guy.
Of course.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
He'll replace DeMarcus Robinson.
Where's Sky Moore's role then?
Yeah, DeMarcus Robinson.
He'll get in there somewhere.
I think he'll be doing more of what Tyreek Hill was doing.
Okay.
He's fast.
Oh, Hunt and Penny. I like that. Hunt and Penny.
Yeah, that's a nice turn, Alex. I thought you weren't going running backs anymore.
Oh, no. Just at that point, I didn't think I needed a running back in that area. But I saw these two guys coming up. And because I'm on the turn, this is where I got to, sometimes you got to jump ahead and take the guys you want.
Right. It's all right. We see what you did there.
Okay.
Running backs? Come on.
After you said that, only like 5 running backs were taken, so I get it.
Yeah. Smart play. I see you.
All right, so Byron, you got Walker right after Penny, which I usually see Walker going in front of Penny. So you two, are you guys going to fight here about who's gonna be the one in Seattle?
Well, he can't use the word fight because Rashad Penny will get injured when he hears it. So.
Oh. Boy.
No. He'll be okay if there's a fight. It's if they have to race each other that he'll be in trouble.
Yeah, taper hamstring.
Then he'll pull a hammy.
Great for not great for fast running backs. I love Rashad Penny. I struggle, and I think Kenneth Walker is a sign that they are struggling with him as well. Chris Carson's gone, so I think there'll be work for both of them throughout the season. I actually quite like Penny there, truthfully, but I like Kenneth Walker there as well. I think they're both going to get work through the season. Penny will probably start hotter. Walker will probably finish hotter. And memes aside, Penny always gets hurt. I'm
gonna go with the other stack.
That's the only thing holding him back.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear somebody chuckling.
No, I like it.
Bateman's got it. There's 248 voided targets there. He's gonna get a lot of them.
Lamar Jackson's.
I like Bateman.
50 extra times. But hey, you're Lamar Jackson, so what's the difference?
Yeah. Take that stack all day.
Just stop it.
Those are going to Tutu.
Oh, dang it.
Tutu is Van Jefferson. Tutu's useless. Chucky. Penny over Walker. I agree.
He's chiming in here.
I agree. I'm a Penny fan, but he's got to show me a little bit more. He's got to stay healthy for a little bit more.
Oh, did I run out of time?
No, you're good.
No, you got a minute. Josh.
109. Don't take St. Brown. You know you want him.
Take a breath. You still got plenty of quarterbacks to choose from. Plenty of quarterbacks.
Including one who's definitely better than Matt Ryan.
I thought I was doing a really good job of keeping up with the picks here, but a couple of them got away from me, it looks like. Okay.
So you got a pretty balanced team there, Nino. No, you're waiting on tight end apparently. So that's
tight end. We're in that range of guys that are like not going to be top 5, and for some reason still cost more.
Yeah, like you said before, from 5 to 8, they're not better than the top 20 wide receiver. They're at the 20 range, so I'm gonna keep plugging away.
Okay, I like it. It's a good approach.
Juju.
Devil. Yeah.
He's got ceiling, man. He did it his first couple of years. I think he's capable. We'll see.
His first year.
Second year.
But he also had Antonio Brown there.
It was the second year was the true.
It was for 1 year.
Yeah. It was the second year, and it was a big year, and he had Antonio Brown there the whole year doing well at the same time.
Ham, taking on double coverage while Juju was running around against a third-string cornerback.
Getting
as much as I do think that Antonio Brown helped him, I think that that's true. I also think that Mason Rudolph is inadequate and was not a fair, didn't provide fair support to those wide receivers.
Do you think he's got an upgrade now from Mason Rudolph?
What's that?
I think he's got an upgrade now at quarterback.
Yeah.
Minor.
Tinge.
Oh, we got Chuck buying into the Pollard hype here, I guess.
He's a Cowboys fan, so he's all in. Trust me.
Okay. He must have been. I'm surprised he let Elliott get to me then.
He's gonna say something.
All right.
Don't you worry.
At this point, I kind of just got to do whatever. I guess there are reaches, but maybe not. I am going to go after this because he's the highest upside rookie wide receiver, and I mean, yeah, it could hit big,
Ooh,
and that's what it takes here. And then I'm going to do a little bit of I don't know what this is. This is a reach? It's probably a reach. I'm looking
Fishing?
at it.
You
I
going
don't
fishing?
know.
Got fish?
I'm going fishing. I'm wondering, this guy, let's see, where was the other guy? Where'd he go? I can't even find him. In the sixth, middle of the fourth round, Javonte Williams went, but I get Melvin Gordon here in the ninth.
You firing shots at me?
I didn't know who it was. I was just looking. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure he's done yet.
I don't think he's done, but I think in the beginning of the season, Javonte's going to get more. At the end, they're gonna save the old man to the end, let him ball out at the end, right for the playoffs.
Maybe he's gonna be so good that they just keep going to him. I don't know.
All the time will catch up.
Eventually. Tell that to Alex Score. Stuff Frank Gore. Alex just stepped out. I was looking at that. I read Alex.
What? Yeah.
Frank Gore.
Franco's an outlier. You know what I mean? How many of those guys actually exist?
I know. Justin's down here advocating for kickers. I did remember to add kickers to the starting lineup, so they should be down there somewhere. So you can take one if you want.
Traylon Burks? Is that his first wide receiver? Wow.
Yeah, he finally goes the wide receiver, goes Traylon Burks, rookie.
I mean, he's going to get peppered, but...
He's got four tight ends, really, hasn't he?
Hey, he's still got 3 slots to fill, like we said. Aggie going Hopkins, which is wide receiver 5, so he's going to be okay. He's going to wait for him for 6 weeks, and that might work out for him then.
Oh, that's me.
I don't mind Aggie's team because he paid up for Kyler Murray early, and he got little Lawrence here at the end in the 7th, which is I don't know. I do worry about his completion rate, but he might do okay for you just as a QB2. He's got a couple solid running backs in there, so he's got an interesting team. Also waiting on tight end. All you guys in the middle here are waiting on tight end.
See what Mr. Croc is going to do here.
He's thinking, Mr. None of these tight ends are going to be doing anything. Takes a tight end. Okay. Yeah, I know you like him. I didn't let us pick him in that one league that we co-owned.
He was a little expensive, if I remember correctly. That's all right. I'm not upset about it. I've got enough of him in best ball.
Yeah, I vetoed that one, so you got to get him where you can.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Nino?
I'm gonna go Mr. Reliable right here.
Yeah.
I feel he's...
Yeah. I like that.
I thought you went the double stack with him, Josh, with Jefferson and Cousins.
I thought about it at some point, but there's a little bit of a...
I question an older receiver coming off an injury like that, but I'm hearing they're moving him to the slot a lot this year, so that could be huge.
That's where it should be. I mean, that's where he broke out.
Especially with Scott Fish with the first down bonus. I'll take it.
Good point. We got Patterson going off here. Officially a running back only in Sleeper as of a couple weeks ago, I think I saw. I'm not sure. Are they going to really go back to using him as much as they did as a running back last year? He was fading at the end of the season.
They drafted a running back. They brought in a running back. I don't see him getting as many touches out of the backfield as he did last year.
Well, they brought a running back in because they let Mike Davis walk.
He was useless.
Yeah.
But he was out there. He was out there for way more
running
snaps than Cordell Patterson was.
He was running into linemen's backs, dude.
I know. I'm just saying that they needed someone else. They needed running back depth, though. I think they still use Patterson, but I don't think he does what he did last year.
I think Algier can take the RB1 role.
You and Algier, man.
You should be drafting him soon.
Yeah, there you go. Here's your chance, Alex. You need more running backs, I think.
It just took me a minute to think who the Falcons even brought in as the other running back. It's Damien Williams, right? I mean, that is a gross room.
I mean, he's okay. He actually did okay in Chicago before he got hurt.
Yeah, it's also.
But that's what he does. He does get hurt a lot.
Yeah,
so
Ooh, bang, bang.
Small room.
Ooh.
cleaning up
The neck
the
god,
trash.
Davis Mills. The neck
Yep.
god.
Mr. Giraffe.
Mr.
himself.
Giraffe.
Oh, Michael Thomas. All right.
I still don't
Yeah,
have
that's-
faith in Michael Thomas. I don't know, man. He scares me.
I mean, there's faith and there's taking him in the 10th round. It's not
No, I agree.
like pretty much anywhere before double digits. And it's slightly too rich, but I think he's worth a shot. If he hits, he hits.
They gave up that capital for Olave. That's like quarterback capital. Trading first to get another first for that first to trade up to get him. I feel like Olave is the guy they have to replace him. You know, it's this year, not even in the future. This year.
Well, but then who's number 2? If
Landry.
Kamara's missing 6 games.
Landry.
Right? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And I think that's another thing that of putting so much narrative stock in draft trade ups. Like, we talked about with the 49ers earlier of who they draft and trade. Like, it doesn't automatically equate. If Thomas is fit, again, Thomas has shown what he is and what he can be. He's a target hog. Jameis throws out the ball. I don't worry about Olave, Thomas, or Landry, really. I think at their values are all likely to hit. Just if Thomas is fit is the issue.
We got Robert Woods then going. He could be there. The Titans at wide receiver 1. If he gets back healthy in time, which the reports are that he actually is on track. I'm not sure, again, like we said with Godwin, I'm not sure how much I believe that, but I don't think he's going to start on the pup, whereas Godwin, that was a concern.
I just worry another one, an older wide receiver coming back from a major injury, and now that he's gonna be relied on to be a 1. That team scares me. You got 2 rookie wide receivers. You got a returning vet wide receiver that was hurt, and King Henry's coming off a major injury too. That's a lot of question marks there.
Yeah. Tannehill didn't look great last year. I don't know if it was because of the weapons. I know AJ Brown was injured and Julio was injured. Oh, someone's making that. Here's Watson, just in case. Just in case. But I do wonder, the thing with Tannehill was he was such an efficiency monster for a couple of years there that, we kept on saying it had to fall off, and he kept doing it again. But it did finally fall off last year. Again, I don't know how much I was due to everything around him, but I don't know how much is going to be better this year, to Nino's point. So I'm afraid we see that.
Team that's run first relies on a tight end as a receiver, and they had no tight end.
Remember
I think they were
this time last year. Not we in this room.
I know, I wasn't.
It's like Anthony Ferguson is going to be a thing. It's like, is he though? Like, it's Anthony Ferguson.
But they got one now, right?
Hooper should get Pepper.
I like Hooper.
I agree.
If it's tight end, Austin Hooper's a great target. Anywhere now, I would even say, like 12th round, 13th round. I think he's absolutely he could.
No.
Maybe not the target leader in Tennessee, but he could certainly be the top 2 targets.
He's going to be the red zone target leader.
Yeah. If Burks is slow coming in, I mean, who's it? Kyle Phillips is the other wide receiver.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean,
Third wide receiver.
What was he? 5th
Well,
round?
it'll be
4th
Westbrook.
round?
Westbrook and Inke.
Westbrook Akine, yeah. Austin Hooper can eat targets in that offense, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Chucky just stacking up those wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
And just going back to Deshaun Watson, that is the exact team you should take Deshaun Watson. You stack your 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs at the start. You got 3 wide receivers, pretty good. 2 questionable quarterbacks. If you get Deshaun Watson for the second half of the season, that team is in great condition.
I'm going to double tap here. I'm actually surprised Ayuk. I guess there's just a lot of wide receivers, but even still, I'm a little surprised Ayuk's there. And then I'm going to take another shot. We were talking about him. I'm going to take that shot on Olave. I think like Drake London and Olave could be this year's, and not to the extent that they were, but they could be this year's Chase and Waddle. I don't think wide receiver ones necessarily. But as far as the two guys I could see that are in the right situations and the right talents and everything else, that they could be the two guys that kind of make big year one leaps. So
the volume won't be there for both of those guys, for sure.
It could be for Olave and will definitely for London, yeah.
I like that pick, Chucky. I feel Zach Wilson's going to take that step this year.
Yeah, he's going to have to because that, 57% completion rate? That's not going to help him here.
Well, in the second half, after he got back from the injury, he looked better. He was better.
I mean, looking better is... he was looking pretty poor in the first.
Hey, outside of Mac Jones, every rookie quarterback looked terrible last year.
Yeah.
And the interceptions.
Yeah.
Well, let's not be too harsh on Davis Mills as well. Davis Mills looked pretty... Especially for what Davis Mills was meant to be, he looked pretty good, to be fair.
Hey, he did have three
leave the neck out of
games, but this could be his last season in Houston.
Yeah,
could well be.
I think he'll have a decent floor. I don't think he's gonna have much upside, but as a quarterback too.
Now, if he throws for 3,500 yards and say 28 touchdowns, are they going to target a quarterback still?
Yeah. Presuming Texans are picking in the top 3 again, yeah. Is that who we're talking about? I think Zach Wilson has more rope than Davis Mills, but I think the Texans, unless Davis Mills is real good, which I don't think he'll be, I don't think he has it, I think they'll be picking a quarterback again in 2023.
We've got someone waiting here to crash the party, but we got to make a little bit of room. Josh, do you need a second? You good?
You can make room. That's fine.
All right, we'll get you back in here.
Is it the dry shave can?
George!
What's going on?
Yeah!
What's going on, gentlemen? What's up?
What up?
How's your draft?
My draft was I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Well, you got fantastic values on those running backs. We talked about it even. This is the guy who got Dalvin Cook and Saquon Barkley in the 3rd and 4th. From what, the 8th spot?
The 9th spot, actually.
9. Okay.
Yeah. So my first pick was Kelsey. Second pick was Mark Andrews. And then I hammered the 2 running backs, Dalvin Cook and Saquon. And
that's crazy Saquon fell that far.
It really was. Couple guys went ahead of him that kind of surprised me. Like, I'm not a big Javonte Williams guy, but he went ahead of him. Breece Hall went ahead of him. Travis Etienne was the pick right before Saquon. So I was thrilled to death to get Saquon there. And then I started looking, and I was desperate for a quarterback. And I was really hoping to get Matt Ryan just because I think he'll actually be super efficient with the scoring settings and being up in Indianapolis with an actual competent offensive line and a competent running game and some decent wide receivers. So I going into the 5th round with no quarterback, I literally got up and walked away from the draft board so I couldn't see anybody else picking because I'm not used to going that late, especially in a Scottish Bowl. Without a quarterback, I'm normally hitting a quarterback probably the 1st round and the 3rd round. So wait until the 5th. It was just I couldn't go any further without taking a quarterback. So I came back, and luckily Matt Ryan was still there.
Okay. So you got him 5'4"?
Yeah, 5'4".
Okay.
6'9" was Cortland Sutton. 7'4" was Jameis Winston. 8'9" Tony Pollard. 9'4". Why they let Amari Cooper fall that far, I don't know, but he was the only wide receiver 1 for a team that was left on the board. And even if Jacoby Brissett's their quarterback, he's still going to pepper Cooper. He's by far and away the best wide receiver on that team. And then at 10-9, I didn't realize Baker Mayfield was still on the board. So I took Baker as my third quarterback. And then I got DeAndre Hopkins. I know he's suspended for the first 6 games, but as my wide receiver 3, when he comes back, to pair with Cooper and Cortland Sutton, I was willing to take that risk with Hopkins that late.
Nice. All right, Byron, back to you here on the turn.
Yeah,
you haven't.
I couldn't find my phone, but I have it now. I have to remember.
Okay.
I was like, where the hell did I put it? Yeah, it's got a little ugly.
We got a lot of teams in the last couple of rounds looking at taking a third quarterback. You took those 2 way back early and haven't looked back.
We'll take some Lenny insurance.
Okay. Well, you have Fournette, so that truly is a handcuff.
Yeah, I think the Bucs are going to be very focused. I'm not worried about Gio Bernard. I'm not worried about Keyshawn Vaughn. I think Rachaad White can have some standalone value, but as a sheer handcuff, I think he's one of the better ones.
Well, like we were talking about, it's still a pretty deep lineup, so we want to get those starters, and there goes Christian Kirk.
He might be the last team wide receiver 1.
Could technically be.
I quite like that.
Kirk was in the conversation for me, but I decided I think Jameson Williams, if he gets right at any point this season, could have a big old, second 2/3 of the year.
Both those guys have much higher ceilings than Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Sure. I like Kirk, but I was kind of thinking of especially Tony at that turn there before with Rachaad White.
I had him lined up.
Yeah, I was hoping Lazard would fall down to me and I could get the Packers wide receiver 1, and then Jimmy took him. I was pretty salty about that. I'm not gonna lie.
You already have the Packers wide receiver 1 in the 3rd round.
Sorry about that.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Marvin Jones is probably going to outplay Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
So,
I thought he would have done more last year too, though. But he really just did nothing. And I know he had a rookie quarterback, but I almost thought that was going to work in his favor, being the veteran presence.
Yeah, he did. He had a couple games at the beginning of the season, and then just nothing.
I do kind of feel like you just have to chuck everything out of Jacksonville last year, because it's that team just threw it in it 4 weeks or however many weeks it was. Just like, this situation sucks. Like, why are we trying? And
that's fair.
I find it hard to take too much. I think Marvin Jones is still a good talent. He's very inconsistent usually, but I think he is a good talent.
Yeah,
but I do like
for
Kirk,
best ball.
Yeah.
He's
good for 4 TD weeks, right?
Yeah. So you get all of his touchdowns. You don't have to worry about it the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So y'all want to hear something crazy about one of the drafts? Something crazy about one of the drafts that happened today in Orlando?
Did Marvin Jones go ahead of Christian Kirk?
No, even worse.
What?
Mac Jones went at the end of the 2nd round.
Whoo!
Wow.
Yeah.
Rich.
Please don't show anyone else that. We can stop talking about that. Moving on.
Take your shot. For sure.
65% completion, so that's what people, I guess, are looking at.
67, but not that anyone's counting or talking about it.
The Scott Fish number is 65, right?
67.
67. Yeah, so he went at the end of the 2nd round. Davis Mills went in the 3rd, and Jameis Winston went in the 4th. The guy that drafted Davis Mills also drafted Jameis Winston. That draft is the one that Jason and Dirty Jobs Mike was in.
So this explains how you got.
Yeah, how did you get such good values on your flex position?
Yeah, I wonder how you got Saquon in the 4th. Oh man, that's the thing about live drafts versus like these slow onlines. So it's going to be interesting to see if a lot of playoff teams and championship contenders come out of leagues that were live drafted and where there were more tilting and more values. So I don't know. That's just a small thing, a note to come back on and maybe look at the end of the season. But George, thanks for hopping in with us. I'm going to let Josh come back in here and explain himself with Marcus Mariota.
Absolutely. I just want to jump in and say hi. Y'all have a great night.
Thanks, George.
See you, George.
So Josh passed up Sky Moore.
It's the Sky.
What's that?
Give me a break, Sky Moore. I'd rather have a for sure QB start in my super flex spot than take a shot on a second-rate rookie wide receiver
For 4 weeks?
Oh.
for 4 weeks
That's
before Desmond Ritter
Ritter.
takes over.
I was kind of hoping Damian Pierce was going to make it back to me. I was a little surprised he was last in.
Is he the last available RB1 on the team?
I mean, I don't think he is the RB1, but he could be by the end of the season.
You're going to get at least
So-
8 weeks out of Marlon Mack.
Shush! Stop saying names that aren't drafted. Dude.
Well, I mean, he already spoke about it. It's on the same team.
I'm just giving our time. Oh, we got our first kicker. Kicker alert!
Totally fine with kicker at this point.
Before Rex Burkhead.
I don't mind Rex Burkhead, but not now.
I have Rex Burkhead on, I think, 110% of my dynasty rosters. I don't know how. And I'm still like,
I'm the same way.
I'm not dropping him. Like
Exactly, because you're always like, well, maybe, and you're gonna know on Wednesday if he's starting.
And like he's had weeks. He's been
He's had
fine in
weeks.
like
Exactly.
2 weeks
I
of
understand.
season.
In PPR, oh man, he's hard to cut, especially in a deep league.
He is.
All right, so there's a quarterback out there who actually has on his resume a top, I'm not sure if it was 12, I'm thinking it was top 12 quarterback, 20 PPR per game in this Scott Fish Bowl scoring.
Pass catching.
I remember.
He's out there, and he's on a better team now.
Oh, the bacon.
It was 2018, and Mitch Trubisky had a very good year.
Oh
ski.
my! Wow.
Good, yeah.
And he's got better weapons and a better coach and a better everything. So
Kenny,
he's going to be dumping it off. Short passes, easy completions. I mean, come on. There's a
Kenny?
shot there.
I think
Kenny Pickett.
QB3 is the best.
he's going to fumble a hand to that cold Pittsburgh wins. It's going to just pop right out.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
All right, and then I'm gonna go on a little bit of I guess it's a reach, maybe. I'm trying to remind myself what we talked about you got to start players, but at the same time I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna reach on this guy we just talked about, Marlon Mack, because at least I'll have a starter for a few weeks, and hopefully by then I can spend all 100 of my dollars, my fab dollars, on whatever running back pulls his Elijah Mitchell this year.
And you've got 7 picks around to fill up with starters. So
Chuck's thinking the same with Algier. But you guys aren't buying my story for Trubisky?
I like Trubisky, so I think that's a fine pick.
I mean, he is the Josh Allen light before Daniel Jones was.
Yeah, I've always kind of liked Trubisky for fantasy. Like, in this kind of format, it's a little worse because the scatter shot thing obviously hurts a lot more. But he has got wheels, and he can make, I'm not going to say the best of his, his teammates, but he can utilize them. I don't think he's awful. I think he's kind of got this bad rep that I'm interested to see how the year off has been for him, if he has sat and learned. I don't think I have him on quite a lot of dynasty rosters. I think he's okay, and I think he's a fine pick here in the we're in 13th round, 12 end of the 12th.
Yeah, 12-13 turn.
Yeah, and like you said, better weapons than ever. Najee and Deontay dump offs all day. Might help him get rid of that scatter shot. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 66% completion rate that year, 2018. 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, but then like 400 something rushing yards and a few extra touchdowns on the ground. Like, he just did a solid job, and that's what that offense was. It was conservative. Matt Nagy was coach back then. And I don't see how that's going to be worse than what he's got with Tomlin and all the better improved weapons they have, even if they're conservative with him. He hasn't. I mean, he chucks the ball every now and then, but he was pretty conservative in Chicago.
Sniped again.
I thought that's who you were thinking of when you were doing your build up to your pick. I thought it was going Baker. I'd completely forgotten about Mitch.
I'm just glad I
time about
took
Mariota when Mayfield and Locke go in the next round.
And the Seahawks start hasn't even gone yet, right?
Yeah.
Geno Smith.
Crocker was just trying to get a run going here on quarterback fours.
He started in the 7th round.
All right. Oh, we've got a fan out here. All right, Neil.
Oh, Neil. Okay. Just for Neil. Just since that just happened.
Is there any more Raiders on the board you can take?
Well, oh, dang it. I was going to take Renfro. He's already gone.
He is.
Somehow.
He's long gone.
Yeah.
Damn.
You might get Kenyon Drake.
That's been
I think
too
Brandon Bolden's out there somewhere.
long. It's been too long since I drafted a running back.
Yeah.
The true Raiders wide receiver one's on the Falcons now, so.
Oh, damn. He's gone too.
Where did all the running backs go?
Did you take a break for a little bit?
Man, I'm telling you, these picks just get away from me. I don't know what happens.
George came on and stole all the running backs.
Good pick.
I like the Landry. I probably would have taken him on my instead of Mac if I didn't already have Olave. So there's Brissett. QB3s, come get him. Going, gone.
I can't believe
Brissett's
Rashad's already gone. How many rounds ago did that happen?
Renfro?
No, 11. Rashad White. That one.
11-11.
Oh, yeah.
It was 2 rounds ago.
John took him almost 27 picks earlier.
Yeah, if I would have noticed, I would have been upset about it.
Well, it's okay. I'm upset that he's been thought of as a 13th round pick, so at least someone's upset.
Yeah, that's got to make you feel better, John.
It's like
Christian Watson.
It was the Patriots guard they drafted this year, and the Rams were like, we were looking at him in the hundreds. I forget the guy's name. Strange. Because they had a great name, yeah. Yeah, it's like, I'm looking for Rashad White here. I'm like, oh, yeah, 25 picks ago.
Sorry.
What have we got left? Oh, yeah, let's take it. Michael
Oh,
Gallup.
man, that was a quick 360.
Man, what does he have against Jarvis Landry? Jeez.
He looked at his team, and he was like, he's not even paying attention.
Oh, whoops. I was looking at the next will run over. Whoops.
Wrong slot.
I thought he might
Where
have
did Renfro go? When did I miss that one?
9-2.
Oh, 9-2. Damn.
Man, you took like a 6-round hiatus.
It's just
Welcome back. It's okay.
Close it out.
Alex.
Should we be concerned?
Nice pick.
I like that Gus Edwards.
Yes.
Yeah, I was scrolling
Mine's
through. I had some tight ends picked out and ready to draft, and then I was scrolling through, and I was like, "Oh, Gus, yeah, no, I'll take him. I can push tight end off for another round at this point." What the hell's the difference? Yeah, and I like Jacoby Myers this late too. I mean, I think he's still the number 1 target, and
Yeah, Devontae Parker is nothing special.
he's trash.
Yep.
He's been trash. He's
Can't
always
stay
gonna be
healthy.
Trash. He's still
I had
trash.
a look recently. I'm pretty sure Devontae Parker's older than Cooper Kupp as well.
Is he really?
Like, he's been in the league so long.
And he's done nothing.
He had one
been injured the whole
decent
time.
season, and yeah, he's very much a Rashad Penny of wide receivers. He's one decent half season, and he still has notoriety for some reason.
Yeah, well, I don't even think he has notoriety. He was just as good. He had that one good season with Fitzpatrick, and that was about it.
The best coach in football traded something for it.
Sorry, Chuck. I had to take your Cowboys.
Yeah, but it's a wide receiver.
Yeah. He's going to double in with N'Keal Harry.
No,
Revin
I mean-
Jordan. Yeah.
it's gonna be Nelson. Is Nelson Aguilar still on that team?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Bill Belichick is to wide receivers as Kyle Shanahan is to running backs. Like going to call back a little.
Shanahan makes one of them productive, though.
Oh no, don't. Bill makes them productive, but it's the Jacoby Myers guys that he gets for free, like Elijah Mitchell's, instead of the guys he drafts in the first round or second round or trades for, or trades a second round pick for.
Oh, Moss O'Neill, yeah, jeez Louise.
So we'll see how that. Aggie, I was hoping Galladay would make it back to me. He is actually. We talked about Amari Cooper being the last wide receiver number 1 for a team. I don't know. Galladay might actually be. I mean, they only played 8 games, and even then, 2 of those games were bad games by Galladay coming back from injury. He and Daniel Jones only played 6 to 8 games with each other, and he was okay in a lot of those games actually. And then Daniel Jones got hurt, and the rest of the season was terrible. But
Yeah, I like getting one of the two, either Galladay or Tony, at some point, because they're both going so late that it's basically free.
yeah,
And you're just hoping for the upside of maybe being the wide receiver 1 for the Giants.
I'm gonna go here a little bit what we talked about. Austin Hooper, and then I'm gonna grab. And this is our last round, in case everyone watching wasn't aware. It is the last round we're doing. It's not just the last one you can see on the board. If I scroll down, there's nothing else there. So this is the last round. I'm gonna take this guy because I think he should be on there, but I probably might wait around otherwise, but he may not make it back to me. So you were talking about me taking Thielen earlier, but this is kind of my third guy. We'd go with Cousins and Jefferson. I really like Osborne. Even the reports are saying, even the other players they brought in, there's no competition. He's the wide receiver 3, no question.
He's going to be the wide receiver 2 once Thielen finally decides to leave.
Yeah, so I either get that extra stack, or worst case, Jefferson gets hurt, and then Osborne's there too. So.
He was getting a love-in from Matt Harmon on the podathon earlier today. One of the guys that he hasn't charted yet, but loves what he sees. So that's a nice start.
Yeah.
As well.
Jimmy, I'm not trying to be rough on you. You took Irv Smith there, and I don't see Irv Smith being better than Osborne, and that's gonna
Really?
hurt his opportunity.
I'm pretty high on Irv this year.
Yeah. I just don't think he's going to do better than Conklin did. Which wasn't bad.
No, I'd be fine with that.
But people have way higher hopes than that.
Oh, yeah. No. I like where he's going. I'll pay for him where he's going.
Yeah, for his price, I think, I love the shot on Irv. I think he's a lot more talented than Conklin, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I think if you whatever round that is, 12. I think if we're drafting him, period, you should be hoping for a lot more than you get out of Tyler Conklin. As okay as he was last year, I think Irv definitely has much more upside than Tyler Conklin. And I kind of like Conklin as a functional, deep league guy. But
I think Conklin's the one to own in New York if you're going to own a Jets tight end.
You don't like the other guy?
Agree.
Uzma?
Uzoma's there, but Conklin's showing out right now.
Mm-hmm. No, Conklin showed up. I thought he looked good last year when he was actually getting some action for the Vikings. I thought he looked just fine. He was a big old red zone target and goal line target, so I'm totally fine with it. Now, CJ Uzoma doesn't fancy me at all.
People forget how good a profile Conklin actually had. He took 2-3 years for it to show up, but that's just how tight ends are. So I don't think that Irv Smith, his profile looked any better than Tyler Conklin's did.
McKissick.
There you go.
It's a nice
Samir White. Yeah, I would have taken McKissick over him too. Sorry, Neil. All right, Nico Collins. We're wrapping up, guys. We've got the two of the guys with the last two picks here. We're going on an hour 20 here, so that's pretty good. How are we all feeling about our teams? Josh, you have completed, so you go ahead.
I'm not sure about taking 4 quarterbacks. I probably won't do that in the real thing, and I feel like I could have waited on wide receiver a little more.
Could have waited more than Waddle. I mean, you reached on Waddle, kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
not a hard reach. Yeah. No, not anything that's anyone's gonna get a hard time about, but still, to then take Waddle and then say you took wide receiver too early. Come on, what else would you have taken? Connor, Zeke?
No, well, Zeke maybe. Yeah, it would have been like I would have really liked Kittle there. Kittle in the 4th, but that wasn't available. But I think it might be in the real deal.
It was totally available.
Was he?
Yeah, you could have
We lost Nino. I don't know if he's going to get back in or not. So we'll see if he's back or not. But all right, John, you finished up with Everett, and then we got Tunyon in there. Sorry. What do you think, John, about your team?
Well, it's funny. I was actually had my finger over Tunyon, and then I was like, Everett's going to be fit to start the season. Let's just take Everett. Okay, 7 out. Getting those 2 quarterbacks early certainly makes me stop thinking about the rest of the draft unless someone falls stupid. Happy enough with running back. It's kind of one of those ones I think it's going to be okay, not an A-star, but yeah, just a lot of good pieces, nothing that's going to hit out the park.
I mean, you never went back to quarterback at all, not even a third one, so
no,
you're really...
I think if you're taking 2 in the first 2 rounds, you almost shouldn't, because
yeah,
especially
they've got to hit.
Yeah, and taking a third quarterback in this first 15 even, these are generally players you want to start. And you're not starting a third quarterback.
Agreed.
With them bye week, etc. But it doesn't feel like good strategy to me.
Jimmy, you were in the 4 spot, and you got Mahomes and Hurts and all those guys. You went with Nico here at the very end, which I kind of like that. I like that. How are you feeling about it, Jimmy?
I feel pretty good about it. My wide receiver situation's okay. I'm gonna need Woods and Lazard one of those guys to step up, but I think it was all right. I like the 2 quarterbacks I got early, and like I said, didn't really have to think about it that much later on. So we'll see. I'm really high on Jacobs this year. I love his ADP. I'm not sure why his ADP is that low. I think that offense is going to be a lot better this year, and I'm not that worried about Zamir White or Kenyon Drake. So I like Jacobs, like Mixon. So overall, feeling pretty good about it.
All right, Alex, you were at the 1 spot there, finished up with Tunyon. What do you think?
I love this team, and if there's either injuries or not even injuries, but if Hunt becomes the starter for some reason, and if Penny can stay healthy and does what he does and stays healthy, I really think that first 8 rounds that I have is going to take me a long way, or would take me a long way. I love all of that. It got a little dicey with my second quarterback. I don't know how I feel about those guys, but I got some high upside wide receiver 3s in there as well. And if we kept going, this is where I'd be taking some shots at a tight end just to try to find one half decent guy that's going to score some touchdowns this year. But otherwise, I like it. I think it's exactly what I would go for here, especially the way that it fell to me.
How are you feeling about your wide receivers? Should you have instead of Hunt or Penny, one of those been a wide receiver instead, or?
No, I think Mike Williams is going to have a big old year, be a top 10 guy. And Deontay Johnson, I think he'll be, about as solid as he's been the last 2 years. So, I was trying to bake in some upside on my wide receiver 3s there, with Kadarius Toney, Jameson Williams. and then some floor with Jacoby Myers. But no, I think I'd be all right with that because there was even still some deeper guys that are left on the board as of right now that I backfill for those wide receivers. So
Jamie's here at the 10 spot, wondering what we think of his team. He went with Kittle there in the 4th, had the 2 quarterbacks to start. Solid wide receivers. The running backs are going to be the real question. Is you're going to be you're definitely going to want to go all in on, whatever backup because of injury happens on Fab. You're going to need a lot to go your way between Etienne, Edmonds, and Singletary. Probably would have liked to see one of those middle wide receivers be a running back, but at the same time there wasn't a ton of options there yet. So it might have had to be instead of Kittle. You could have gone with any of those guys that went around before Etienne.
Yeah, and in a big tournament like this though, you backfill your roster with a bunch of second string and third string running backs that have a chance to see the field and get that starting spot. This is the perfect kind of team for that, where you took your RB1 in the 5th round. Like, you just kind of you take a lot of shots and hope 1 or 2 of them hits, and ride into the sunset one way or the other, either on fire or on the way to the playoffs.
Yeah, instead of the Njoku or kicker, you could have just kept on hammering away at back ends. Herbert and McKissick would have been nice.
Yep, exactly.
You guys want to roast me about my tilting team over here, or?
I think you stayed pretty balanced, after, even pretty much all the way through. I think you were just trying to keep that balance. At least it looked like it, and you got some floor, you got some ceiling plays there. I think it's all right.
Too bad you didn't make a good first round pick. That could have been a decent team.
Yeah, I know, right? I hope this isn't. What's that, John?
I like those wide receiver values because you've got 5 who could lead their team in targets. Well, maybe not Ayuk, but Olavi could, London could, Cooks could, Jefferson could.
Ayuk definitely could.
Yeah, Ayuk's, I'd say, the least likely of the 5, but he certainly could, yeah. And yeah, like you said, it's really
if Debo gets traded, maybe.
Well, Debo's not.
That's still on the table.
He's not the healthiest guy, ever either. So.
No, and I have a lot of reservations about George Kittle this year. Like, I know it's on the prior team, but just in terms of Ayuk, if only 149's pass catcher does pop, I wouldn't be stunned, even if Debo's still there if it is Ayuk. I think going into last season, most people would take Ayuk ahead of Debo. I'm not 100% sure if that would play out with the ADP, but he was certainly sexier than Debo. Debo was wildly undervalued going into last season.
Yeah, I do this a lot where it seems like I said that about Elliott, where I don't know why he was too high last year and now he's too low. Ayuk, people were too high on him, I thought, last year. Now he's too low again. So, you just gotta, I guess that's where you can get some values. Being balanced is typically not my approach, so that this was a little bit different for me. I often my what I call high ground. I just hammer. I want to have the absolute best at some position, and I'm looking at this team, and I'm like, I don't have the absolute best at any position, so I'm not that comfortable with it, and I hope this isn't how it actually turns out for me. But at the same time, I can look at it and be like, I got some good values and points for what I got, and you never know. You never know. The names come and go, but you can build whatever construction you think is going to work out, but somebody who picks Mac Jones in the second rounds end up winning because the rest of their team goes off, and then it's like, okay. All right, and thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on, spending your night with me, and everyone who was watching, everyone who joined in, who wasn't able to come in on live stream. Thanks, guys. Let's go down the list. Say, where some of these guys maybe can connect with you after this on Twitter or anything else. Alex, go ahead.
You can find me on Twitter at AlexO_FF, and you can find our podcast, Toilets to Titles, Their Twitter is at Toilets to Titles, I think all spelled out. We also have YouTube, and we're on Spotify and iTunes. Check us out. We have podcasts, we have streams, we got videos, we got everything. So check us out. We also have a website. Again, toiletstotitles.com.
Awesome. John?
Yeah, I don't do any of these videos or content, but
We're going to see you tomorrow, though, right?
yeah, I'm going to be live drafting on the Scott Fishbowl Podathon, 1 at 2 till 4 Eastern time, 1 to 3 my time. So I keep getting that mixed up. So that should be fun. I love drafting live, clearly. Yeah, I'm at Byronchenko on Twitter. I pretty much just tweet, so feel free to follow me. Yeah, always a good time.
Awesome. Jimmy?
Yeah, you guys can follow me at jtrey_88 on Twitter. Yeah, I basically just talk about fantasy football and other football bad hot takes. Yeah, give me a follow. I'm in the Alexandria, Virginia Scott Fishbowl division, so we'll see how it goes this year. It's my first year, so we'll see.
Nice.
Been trying to get in for 3 years.
We'll make sure it's worth it.
I'm sure
right.
it'll end terribly.
Just, you know what? Just do it. Do what you like. Pick your team, and don't feel like don't leave any regrets out there. That's all. Yeah, that's how it goes. I did it 1 year, and my first year was SFB 8, and I just went after, what I thought was going to be, which was Jerick McKinnon doing great in San Francisco, and then he got hurt. So hey, that just happens. Nice. Whatever. But no regrets. I would have regretted it if I had to, and then he went off. So
The ultimate YOLO draft.
Yep. You gotta go after it. So Josh, wrap us up. Well, not wrap us up, but your last one.
I'm not doing any content right now either, but if you find me on Twitter, I'm happy to talk to you. So, had a good time. Thanks for the draft, guys.
Here's the thing: that Josh has been on as a co-host, guest, panelist, whatever. I don't know, with Clock Dodgers podcast. So I don't know, Neil over there, at Clock Dodgers. You might be doing yourself a disservice here because you have him on sometimes. So. All right, guys. So, Fusion FFB, the ats are there. Website, fusionffb.com. Apparently, it's going to be up for another year. I accidentally just paid for it again. So, fusionffb.com. And the invoice sneaks up on you every year. And then, that's about it. Podcast. I haven't been doing a lot, though, guys. I'll be honest. I was just on with John Hogue on the Superflex Super Show talking about that high ground draft approach thing, which is nothing like what I just did. So you could check out that podcast episode. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great night. Good luck in all your Scott Fishbowl drafts. And like I said, just have a good time. Go for it. Have a lot of fun in your chats and everything, making friends, and just don't time out. Just don't time out. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. See it.